Hello, my name is Genie Richards, and I'm a woman.
Hi, I'm Kaela Norris, and I identify as a woman.
I'm Mercado, and I identify as a female.
Hi, my name is Valchar, and I'm a woman.
Do you advocate for issues you feel are underrepresented in society?
Not as much as I should. I definitely have an opinion on the issues regarding women in our society, but I don't participate in marches or in passing legislature like I should.
Yes, I think so. I definitely try my best. I'm most passionate about women's issues, immigration, and interfaith work. And I think those all intersect with women being at the top of that triangle.
I spread the word, so different things that may happen to women, rape, molestation, all the other stuff. I spread and I tell others about it, so I guess in a way I would advocate for that.
I would say yes, in the sense that I like to follow a lot of the movements that go on around North Carolina specifically. Back home in Durham, North Carolina, there was a huge movement in relation to the Black Lives Matter and some stuff that were happening in our like Capitol Hill area, like where the courthouse is, and I was a part of that in a sense, just because I wasn't able to be present there, but I was constantly tweeting about it and trying to make some positive notes about it. And I like to be involved on campus, so I try to go out to all the events as much as I can. And that's all I got.
Do you feel underprivileged as a woman?
I don't necessarily feel underprivileged, but I feel that there are a couple places in the work, in our workforce and in family life that women are at a disadvantage than men.
No, not necessarily. Not underprivileged because I am a woman, but I'm also a white woman, and I know that on like the scale of marginalization, I'm nowhere near the bottom. So I think it's important to acknowledge that. But there are certain things that are unfair, like the pay gap, and that's probably my biggest issue as a white woman. But I think my sisters of color and other women who may not be cisgendered definitely face discrimination on a regular basis.
Yes, because in some fields, men get paid more than women. Why? For the same thing. I understand that women are built a certain way and that men are typically stronger, but in some cases that's not true. Some women are stronger than most men. But yeah, to answer it, yes, I do.
I would say yes in some situations. I feel like I am looked down upon because of my gender sometimes. I don't have any examples in relation to like the workforce or any examples in relation to like being a student on campus, just because I can't think of anything. But I will say in my family, we do talk a lot about what it's like to work, and my dad always says that like a man should be responsible for this kind of job, and I feel very, very offended because I think that I would be very much capable of doing certain jobs that you would think a man should do, and my dad will try to hit me with like scientific reasoning as to why a man can do something, and I don't appreciate that at all. But I would say in certain situations.
Women are stereotyped as caregivers, not breadwinners. What do you think about this?
I think that this is a very old-fashioned stereotype, but I do think that remnants of it exist today in more traditional family-style homes, and I think that I plan to break the stereotype, and I hope to be the breadwinner or of equal worth in my future household.
I think that's true, and I think it's unfortunate because I think it's totally plausible that women can be both. for about half my life, my dad was a breadwinner, and the other half of my life, my mom was the breadwinner. So for me, it's always been normal. And I kind of feel sad for people that feel like their wives or girlfriends can't be breadwinners, because I feel like they're missing out on a more balanced and healthier relationship. But I also feel sad for women who feel like they can't be, because they're totally capable and have that strength inside of them, and they deserve that opportunity.
So I see the stereotype in both ways. Women are characterized as caregivers because they have a natural, a natural inclination for it. And men stereotype are for the breadwinners. But you can't classify all women as caregivers. Some women do not want to take that role. Some women want to focus on the career. Some women don't want to be a stay-at-home mom. It depends on the individual itself. That makes sense.
Well, I think that that's definitely very true to this day. I know that culturally, I grew up being the one in the family that has to clean, cook, and do any other chores and make sure that my dad is getting things done, that my brother's getting things done, and my brother, all the guys in my family are supposed to do all the handyman stuff. They bring in the money and I don't need to worry about it. And I think that's not okay, but because I've grown up that way, sometimes I forget to fend for myself, and sometimes I forget that I can be independent just as much as my brother could. So it's a problem, but I think it's how we incorporate it in our daily lives and how we try to better it to make that a better view.
Are you scared at night?
I would be scared at night if I was in a place that I don't know, and if I was by myself especially. And I don't know if that's necessarily because I'm a woman, but just because I don't carry pepper spray, and I would maybe feel a bit threatened by the people around me if they got too close, or if they make comments, like people on the street, if they make comments about my body or my appearance.
I mean, not just like all the time whenever the sun goes down, but I mean, yeah, I think sometimes like I babysit and I walk sometimes if it's close, and when I have to walk back and cars beep at you or someone slows down, that scares me. Or if I have to worry about if I go out with my friends and it's just a couple of us girls that I worry about, just because I know we're kind of vulnerable. But not often. I try to be pretty safe.
When I'm walking alone, yes, and that's partly because I am a small person. Well, I'm tall, but I'm skinny, and honestly, things could happen to me. Let's be real. So I guess I'm scared at night when I'm alone because I understand how small I am, and I understand that there are bigger people in the world, and I understand that also people sometimes tend to do harm. Just in the world that we live in. I mean, being a woman, you understand, you're taught these ways. You can't go outside for a certain time. You can't walk a certain way. You have to wear certain clothes, or you may be perceived as this or that. And you may open invitations for rapists and molesters, and there's so many rules growing up as a woman. So, yeah, I guess over time I was instilled fear, and I was instilled to act a certain way and be a certain way so this doesn't happen. But it's crazy because people still do all these things, women particularly do all these things. They dress a certain way, they walk a certain way, they take self-defense classes, they don't look at their phone, but they look straight, so they're not distracted, yet those women still get raped, and they still get molested, and they still get abducted. Why is that? So knowing all of that, especially in the media, the news, everywhere, of course I have a reason to be scared.
Sometimes, I've noticed that when it's very, very late at night, I get really, really scared just walking across campus, because I fear that I won't be able to protect myself, and I get really scared to think about what if I get kidnapped and something happens to me and I become part of human trafficking. And that might be very intense, and not just on this campus but off campus, but just random thoughts go through my head, and I don't know if it's because I'm a woman or if it's because I'm small. But I know that if I was walking with a guy, I wouldn't feel scared. But if it was two girls, like being another friend, I would probably be just as scared, but I would assume that would be safe because it's two girls. But in my head, it's always the thought of like, girls, girls. And that actually really makes me mad, now that I'm saying it out loud. But yeah.